on to the September 11th, 2025 incident. And of course, we're not going to reference any student names.
Correct.
Okay? Or family names or anything like that.
Sure.
Without referencing the student names, can you explain to us what happened on September 11th from your perspective?
Yes. On September 11th, I did receive a phone call. I received a few phone calls in my office, maybe a few minutes before 8 a.m. And that conversation, the conversations that I was having, was in regard to a young man, some of you, he had been taken out of his home with his great-grandmother, who had raised him since he was 6 months old. And his great-grandmother was very needy with health, you name it, everything. Her age played a factor in a lot of things. And our school had really put a lot into helping this family. While he's been with some of you, his biological parents both died. His great-grandfather, who he basically knew as his pops, died. And then his great-grandmother was left with him, and again, she had many limitations. I was on the phone that morning, from my recollection, and I don't know the names, forgive me, but someone with the fostering agency or children and youth, a police liaison that deals with domestic disputes, and when children are involved, and then I was on the phone with the great-grandmother. The great-grandmother could not understand why everything was going on. She's screaming. Forgive me.
Take your time.
So I was in that conversation, and it was hard to get her to a point to understand and be at peace with something. And I also wanted to know where the young man was so we could make sure that he got to school safely. And this young man, when he came to some of you as a kindergartner, you could tell he didn't have interactions with other kids. And again, the kindergarten team, Mrs. Waterman, Mrs. Garofalo, they did an awesome job trying to get him acclimated to school. We really took a heavy helping hand to this family once we heard everything. And it's been a long adventure with this young man and his family. But so I was dealing with that, and in about 8:02, I'm in the middle of all these conversations. Excuse me. And there was a radio call. And I know that I may not have had the radio on at the time at my desk, but I could hear the radios in the office. And I remember that Mrs. Cobalt kind of peeked into my door, and she had referenced something about the radio. It was Mrs. Waterman. And I had got on I wasn't sure if I got on there or not. I knew it was probably said. I wasn't sure if I said or not. And in the heat of the moment and everything going on, I'm not going to say I didn't say it, and others have testified that I said it, so I'm okay that I said it. First thing that I would say is I can't push or pull. I say that, and then Mrs. Cobalt had motioned that she go out and assess what was going on. So she did. She was out there within like 30 seconds of the call. And so I continued with my phone calls and dealing with that. I had my radio on now because I made that call. And I heard them make some calls to Mr. Lego, I believe, and Mr. McFarland. And within 2 minutes of the initial call, all the calls had stopped. So my assumption was that it was taken care of, people were out there that needed to be there. I could continue on with what I was talking on the phone, and I did talk for a while with the individuals. And I was talking, I have my personal cell phone, my work cell phone, landline, and I forget all of them, but I was probably using all of them, unfortunately, due to who was all calling me. And again, it was a timely manner because we wanted to know if this young man was going to show up to school and how he was going to be. And again, he socially really struggles with any kind of change, anything. So, Mrs. Noble had come in, everything was great, I thumbs up. I don't remember exactly, but I was under the impression everything was taken care of, where it needed to be at that time out there. Mr. Cameron had come in and floated in and out, but my understanding was it was good. I did go out there about 15 to 17 minutes later. I was able to get everything done. Again, knowing that all the calls had stopped within 2 minutes and people were back in, I trusted that the staff was taking care of it. I said I could not push or pull because the chair alone was close to 400 to 500 pounds. And the young man added to that.
You say the chair.
The wheelchair, I apologize that the student was in. So there was going to be, it was a heavy load. Due to being injured at work 3 different times, protecting or supporting teachers and other staff from being assaulted by students, I have been injured 3 times. The injuries impact the lower side of my left of my head all the way down to my fingertips on my left-hand side, all through my shoulder, my arms. I have a doctor's note on file that I resubmitted on May 6, 2025 to Dr. Sturdermeyer about that. It notes that I can be absent at times due to the nauseous feelings that I have and the pain that I have, and also with the medication that I take for the pain. So that's why I said, quickly, for someone, again, it's testified that I said it, they couldn't push and pull because of my injury and because of the weight of what it was. So I did go out there and I assessed some things that were going on. I did see that Mrs. Khan was over to a distance on the phone, and I asked, there was a large group of people there. And the young man was safe. He was sitting in the regular chair on the van. They still couldn't figure out the hydraulic lift. And I said, is Mrs. Khan calling the mom? And that was something that was required to do. There was an incident with his child. So I said, yeah, I believe that's who she called to her mom. I said, okay. I did see the transportation director there. So everyone was there that was able to take care of it. Again, the young man was safe. So I know I needed to go out to the front to get ready for the other young man to show up from school, because I was actually told he'd be coming at the time, so I went out there.
This is the first student?
This is the student that I was involved with on the phone calls. So I did go out there, and there was Mrs. Sutler, who works out front, we all different duty spots in the morning, and I explained to Mrs. Sutler what was going on, and again, everyone in the building knew about the young man, everyone helped him. And so she was aware. And then when I was over there, he came out of the car. The individual didn't stop, talk to us or anything, they just dropped him off.
This is, again, that's student.
Just student number 1 that I was talking about. Just, he looked like, it didn't look good. And you could tell he was upset and everything of that nature. So we took care of him, individuals went in and talked with him. And then I talked to him with them at the curb, and then they went in. So I then walked back. And when I was over there, asking about Mrs. Khan making the call, and seeing that they couldn't get the hydraulic lift all the way down to the ground, it was maybe like 2 inches to 3 inches from the ground. And obviously they didn't want the wheelchair to go over that because there was still that gap. I had said to everyone, and everyone that was aware of the transportation director, we had ramps for this young man to go out the back door off of a piece of cement. Well, the cement's got the same size as the gap. So I said to everyone who was just standing there and not knowing where to go, I said, go get the ramps, put that, and we're going to go right off. I said that when I asked about Mrs. Khan on the call. So when I then came back working with student number 1 who got into the building, Miss Davenport, somebody told me, and someone did take him in, check with him. And I went back over and looked, and I see that they were using the ramp, and I had radioed to someone, well, it was Mrs. Lewis, our nurse, and I said, please check on this student, make sure he's okay, whatever he needs. Let me know when that's done, and come to my office, and we're going to call him up. So it all happened. I got the call that she had checked him out. Okay, that's me in my office, so myself and the nurse called the mother of the young man in the wheelchair. That the mother told me she knew nothing about it. I was the first one that called her. And then I shared to her what happened. What I knew had happened, I hadn't seen any real footage at that moment. And then we hung up, but I kind of felt like, and then I knew the mother, who's our PTO president, that she was going to be coming to the school. Made sense, but so then at that time I did make a call about McCall, or I tried to call her. We might have been text message. And she said that she wasn't coming over, but she was sending over the business manager and a police officer, school district police officer.
Okay.
And not to show any kind of video of anybody if they come.
I want to direct your attention to Exhibit 9. Do you recognize the images in Exhibit 9?
Yes.
And what are they?
What you'll see near that red dumpster is the van.
Hold on, before we go into describing them. Are these screenshots?
We have a screenshot from security footage from the elementary school, on the northeastern side of the building.
And these are screenshots taken from September 11th, 2025?
Yes, ma'am.
And approximately 8:02, we see two adults running to the van. You see that?
Yes, I see them in the van.
Okay. Can you identify who those two adults are?
I believe that is Kimberly Sutton, who was the PCA, personal care provider for the student, and then I believe the other one is second grade teacher Abby Waddles.
The next image down at 8:03. We see another adult has joined. Can you identify who that is?
Yes, I believe that is Harmony Cobalt, secretary.
And that would have been after Harmony received the radio call from Ms. Wagner.
Correct.
On page 2, at approximately 8:04, we see approximately 5 people. Is that about right? I know it's hard to tell. It's a screenshot of a...
Yeah, there are additional people after Mrs. Cobalt.
And then at 8:04 and 50 seconds, we see even more people join.
Correct.
And on the next page, at 8:19,
Yes.
at the bottom of that image, we see an individual who I believe is you. Is that correct?
That is correct. That is me.
Okay. And is that approximately when you were, or exactly when you were walking out to the scene?
Yes.
And it looks like you're looking at your phone. Do you see that?
Yes.
And what are you doing? If you know.
I was looking at my phone, taking that picture, and I was walking into the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know if you were still handling the issue with student 1?
Yes, that went on, yes. That was still going on, yes.
Okay. And if you look at the bottom image here, 8:25, is this approximately when you were recommending that they use the lifts?
Yeah, between 8:19 and 8:25 in these two pictures, that's when I recommended the lift, the ramps.
And then the last image here at 8:26.
Yes, that is me walking away, and that is a time where I was then, and I mentioned this earlier, I walked around front, and that's where I saw the first student getting out of the car.
You had testified as to your injury, and you also testified that the administration was aware that you had an injury. Do you know if other folks at the district were aware of your physical limitations when it came to pulling, pushing or pulling?
Other than my supervisors?
Correct.
Yes, I do believe others at that time in the district were aware of it.
Do you know if there was any concern about other staff getting injured in this incident?
There were.
I'm going to direct your attention to Exhibit 10. You identify this document.
Yes, this is a screenshot of a text message between myself and Dr. McCown.
And what is this text message referring to? I'm sorry, let me ask this question first. Are the blue bubbles you?
Yes.
And the gray bubbles Dr. McCallum?
Yes.
And what is Dr. McCallum asking in this message?
So her main thing says, from watching the video, I would be surprised if Stu, that's Mr. Lego, and Connor, Mr. McFarland, didn't get hurt this morning. Can you make sure they both are seen by the nurse today if that hasn't already happened? I wrote, yeah. She said, thank you. I said, no problem.
Okay, did Dr. McCallum then follow up concerning the visit from staff, or excuse me, the nurse checking on staff?
Yes, she did.
Okay.
Would you like me to read that?
Sure.
She said, hi Steve, this was on September 11, 2:21 p.m. Hi Steve, just checking in to see how you and your staff involved this AM are doing. I gave a thumbs up on that, and I said, I know Connor and Stu did check in with the nurse. I know that Kimberly submitted a statement, and that is the PCA. And I said, Eric and Erica have that, thank you. And Eric is the business manager, and Erica is the director of special education. And then Dr. McCallum responded, perfect, thanks, and I gave her a thumbs up.
Were you asked to collect statements as part of this incident?
I believe we were asked to give statements, including myself, to Dr. Holtzman. I don't believe I collected all of them. I may have shared with people that Dr. Holtzman wanted those statements. And I know when we have instances and insurance may be involved, and things like that, the district does request statements for anyone who's involved.
Did you prepare a statement after this incident?
I did.
Direct your attention to Exhibit 11. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And what is it?
This is my statement to Dr. Holtzman, Dr. Eric Holtzman I sent it on 9/12/25 via email.
Okay, so it says the next day after
Yes.
the incident?
Yes.
And Mr. Holtzman had asked you for that statement?
Yes.
Why didn't you reference the first child in the statement?
It had nothing to do with this incident. And my understanding, these statements go, again, for insurance purposes and stuff, so I didn't feel it was right to include that.
And just again, on the record, although we mentioned this before, the district has stipulated to allowing Exhibit 12 to be reviewed for in-camera review. And along with that stipulation, the district has agreed that Mr. Pappas did follow the appropriate chain of command with relation to the September 11th incident.
It's already been, yes, Attorney Pappas already stipulated a second.
For clarification of the transcript.
I understand consistency.
Absolutely.
That